And that boy, as you know, has a mama that's down there right now mourning over her son. Can I ask you this real quick? Is Robert going to tell us the same exact story as you? If he does tell us something different, is it you tell the truth or would it be him? If he tells us something different, okay, would it be him telling us the truth or would it be you?
It's August the 4th of 2020. The police department of Texas City, Texas would answer a call concerning a person who had been shot. The victim is a 30-year-old man named Ryan Hodges. He is one of 3 people in the home that day when he is fatally and tragically shot in the head. Another occupant in the house is 22-year-old Mary Russell. The police bring Mary down to the station to question her about what happened to her friend Ryan. As she answers questions by the detectives, she finds it harder and harder to convince the investigators that there isn't an alternative reason for the shooting. Let's listen in and see how we might respond to her version of events.
Recorded audio and video, okay? And is there anything that you need? I got you some water. You went to the restroom and stuff. Are you good for now? Okay. I want to talk to you about what happened tonight at the house, or this evening. But before we get into all that, I want to get some identifiers and stuff for you. And because I don't talk real well with this mask on, so.
Trust me, I don't really care about the mask, honestly.
Yeah, well, our chief makes us do it. So.
No, I don't like the mask either.
Because everything's being recorded here, I got to do some like timestamps and stuff like that. So this case is being documented under case number 20-007249. And today is August the 4th, 2020, and it's 10 o'clock p.m. Okay, and we're here at the Texas City Police Department in the interview room. And this is an incident that occurred tonight at about 7:01 p.m. roughly. And do you mind if I call you Mary? And who do you reside there with?
Robert.
Who else besides Robert?
Heather.
You have Heather. You know Heather's last name?
Roberts.
Is she a white female, black female?
White female.
About how old is she?
30-something.
30-something. And who else?
Robert.
I got Robert. Robert Jones, Heather Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Who? Anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
So just the 3 of y'all live there? What about the small child that's out? Is the child live there?
No, she's visiting her dad.
She's just visiting. And who's her dad?
Robert Jones.
Okay. So this is an incident that occurred at the residence tonight, involving who else was at the residence tonight?
Ryan Hughes.
Ryan Hughes.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
And so Ryan doesn't live there?
No.
He just visited?
Yeah, it's his brother.
Whose brother?
Robert's.
So little Robert's brother?
Yes.
So that's Robert's brother. Okay.
He's been staying on and off.
So this may sound a little confusing, but how long have you been at the house? Like, have you been there like the last 24 hours? You've been there for a couple of days. When's the last time you left the house? I honestly you live there, but have you been there all day?
No, I left earlier. Ryan took me to go get some food.
Ryan took you. What time was that?
About, I want to say 5 something, maybe 6.
5 something. And where'd y'all go get food at?
Speedway.
Speedway? What'd y'all buy at Speedway?
Pizza and chili cheese tater tots and $5
That
a
actually
gas.
sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of hungry. It's not good for me, but it sounds good. So y'all go buy food about 5 something. Is it closer to 6 or is it closer to 5?
I can't be for sure.
I know you don't wear a watch. Did you have your phone with you?
Yeah, my phone's at the house also.
Okay.
Hence, I don't have shoes on or anything.
So,
that's why when they asked if I had anything, I was like, I don't have pockets, so I don't have
that's fine. So when you and Robert left, is you and Robert?
You and Ryan.
Ryan. You and Ryan left to go to get food.
Yes.
Who was at the house when y'all left?
Audrey, Heather, and Robert. Junior.
Okay. And how long were y'all gone?
Not even 30 minutes.
Okay. So you get back to the house. Who's at the house when you arrived?
Same people.
Same people. Anybody coming or going out of the house this evening that's not normally living there besides Ryan?
No.
No other visitors, guests? They'll be popping in just for a minute or two? Okay. So tell me what's going on this evening. So what's everybody doing this evening? Y'all get back with the food?
We get back. Are you trying to figure out exactly what happened? Do you want details of what happened? Or?
I want to talk about, like, you get back from the house with the pizza and all that.
We
what's
sit
going
down. Robert is working on his bike, and we're all just chilling, hanging out.
And where are we at right now?
Outside.
In the front yard?
Yes.
Okay.
While he's working on his bike. We go inside, and we're sitting down. We're all talking for a little bit, and me and Bert decided to go move the dresser. Audrey's, I think, in the room with Heather at the time.
You said Bert?
It's Robert.
Robert?
Yeah.
Junior, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll call him Bird?
Bert.
Bert? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
And we decided to move the dresser. My gun was sitting on top of the dresser. My clip is on the bed.
So hold on. So your gun is sitting where?
On top of the dresser.
And what dresser are we talking about? What part of the house are we in?
My room, the front room, where everything happened.
Let's start. Let's kind of pause.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar with the house. Do you mind drawing me a map of the house?
I can try.
So, you don't have to be perfect. My artwork. So let's use this red line as the street. So that's 4th Avenue North, and then draw me a rectangle and put the different rooms in the house. Make sure you make it big enough.
Okay. I'm going to try my hardest to do this.
And what's Ryan's last name again?
Hughes.
And he's the person that was shot?
Yes, sir.
Now, that might have confused you the same way it confused me when I heard it. Because as you heard in the opening, I called him Ryan Hodges. Well, it is in fact Ryan Hodges. I think she might not have known his last name.
Okay, so...
No. You're drawing me a 3D picture.
Okay.
That's too complicated. Draw me like a 2D. So draw me... here, let me help you out. So this is particularly kind of what the house looks like. So we're going to look down from a bird's eye view into the house, okay?
Now, I sped past it because ultimately he just wanted a picture of the room. He just wanted the layout of the room so she could explain her story, and she drew the entire house. So he narrowed it down to just a square with the room and the contents in the room. That's where we're at.
This big square is that whole room, okay? You know the furniture layout in that room?
Not offhand.
Okay, well where's the bed at in that room?
The bed's over here.
Make it big enough for a bed. And then where's the dresser at where you... I'll talk about that now.
There's a dresser right here.
Okay.
It has a TV on it.
Okay. Put TV there for me. Okay.
Okay.
So tell me about this room.
It's my room. What do you mean tell you about it?
Well, you said something about you put your gun on a dresser.
The gun was on the dresser.
Show me where the dresser's at.
Right here.
Okay, that dresser there?
Yes.
Okay.
And the clip is on the bed. There should have been nothing in the gun at all. And we went to go move the dresser, and the gun hit the ground, and it went off. I don't know what happened. I normally check everything. It's normally safety on and everything. I don't know how it happened.
Okay, tell me more about this gun. What kind? What make it is?
It's a pink Sky 9mm.
Sky?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you spell it? S, is it that S?
Okay, I want to say it's 2 Ys.
2 Ys.
It's
a
2 Ys
9mm?
or 2 Ks. Yes, it's a 9mm.
How long have you owned that gun?
About a month and a half, maybe 2 months.
And where'd you buy it at?
Pawn shop.
Which pawn shop?
In Lamar, right off of Main Street, I believe.
Okay. Do you know if it was brand new when you bought it or used?
It was brand new.
Okay. You said it's a 9mm?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many rounds that the magazine holds or the clip?
I want to say it was 8, but I'm not entirely sure.
And I kind of skipped over this, but I guess because we're talking about a clip or magazine, it's a semi-automatic or is it a revolver?
It's semi-automatic, I believe. I don't know much about guns.
Okay. But it has a clip that goes into the handle?
Yes.
And what color is it?
Pink.
Is it all pink?
No,
or
pink and black.
Pink and black? Pink on the bottom, pink on the top?
It's pink on the grip area, or the whole gun itself, and then certain spots are black.
Does it have a safety?
Yes.
What kind of safety?
It's a flip one.
Okay. Have you ever fired that gun or shot that gun?
Mm-hmm.
It's brand new, never been shot?
They've been shot twice. Bert shot outside the backyard. Once or twice to test it for me. But that's about it. We haven't ever used it, gone to fire range, nothing.
You know what kind of ammunition was in the gun? Are you familiar with what kind of bullets?
9mm Luger, I believe.
Yeah, I know it's the caliber, but do you know if it was like a hollow point or a
I
round?
don't know.
Okay. Who did you buy the gun yourself?
Yes, sir.
Did you buy the ammunition?
Yes, sir. I
From
bought
the
it same
place?
Yes, same place.
How long ago was that?
I want to say a month or 2 ago.
So let's go back to so you put the gun on the dresser. And what did you say about the magazine?
It's on the bed. It was on the bed because I always take it out.
How did it get on the bed?
I took it out.
Tonight?
Yeah. I don't ever keep it in the gun at all. Like I said, I always try to make it as safe as possible. Don't leave it loaded, nothing like that.
Where do you normally keep the gun at?
Normally in the drawer
Of what?
of this dresser over here.
The top drawer, middle drawer, bottom
Top
drawer?
drawer.
And when you store the gun there, how's it stored?
It's normally emptied out completely on safety, and the magazine's normally in a different spot.
Okay. And then, so now tonight the magazine's on the bed?
Yeah, I actually had it on me earlier. When I was outside, I didn't use it or anything. I was just looking at it and playing with it. I was really just learning the gun itself before I ever go into the shooting range or anything like that.
Okay. And you were doing that in the bedroom?
No, I was doing that outside,
In the front yard or the back yard?
the front yard.
Okay. So when is that going on? After you get back with the pizza or before?
That was after, when we were outside with the bikes and everything. We were all just chilling and everything.
And what do you mean by you were practicing with it in the front yard?
Not practicing, like unloading it and everything else, and learning the how to unload it, reload it, stuff like that.
Were you teaching yourself that, or was
Teaching
somebody
myself
teaching?
that. Bert was helping me, but he was working on the bike. He's been teaching me for a good minute now.
Okay. So that's going in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point do you go into the bedroom here?
When we all went back inside, I took the clip out and set the gun down and made sure safety was on.
So you took the clip out and put it on the bed?
On the bed.
And then you put the gun where?
Over here.
On that dresser?
Yes.
So all this happened, so y'all went and got pizza,
Yes.
then you came back, okay, and everybody's outside out front.
Yeah, we're not outside long. He was mainly just putting gas in, trying to start the bike.
Okay, so but when y'all went and ate,
Mm-hmm.
or got pizza from the store, okay, you come back home, you and Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
okay, everybody else is still there,
Yes, sir.
alright. Now, that's when y'all are messing with the gun, and
Yes, sir.
so you go in your bedroom and go get the gun.
Yes, sir. I went to go put the pizza down.
You put the pizza down, you never ate?
I grabbed a slice, but
Okay.
I only ate 2 bites of it now. I can't really eat pizza like this my gallbladder.
Okay, so
And
you,
I grabbed the gun, went outside.
okay, you grabbed the gun from where?
The top drawer.
Okay. Now, when you grabbed it out of the top of the drawer, was it loaded with magazine?
No,
Okay.
the magazine was in the second drawer.
In the second drawer.
Yes,
Okay.
it was right underneath it.
So you go out to the front yard,
Mm-hmm.
you and Robert?
Me and Robert was already outside, Ryan was already outside, and I went outside myself.
Okay. And y'all in the front yard?
Yes.
Okay. And you're manipulating
Yeah,
the gun.
maneuvering the gun and everything.
So I mean, are you like just trying to load it, or?
Pretty much just loading it, unloading it, re-racking it, unracking it, putting the safety on, pretty much practicing the safety tips of it.
Okay. Okay. Now, how long are you practicing with it?
Maybe 10 minutes, not even. We didn't stay outside long, so I ended up going inside. We ended up going inside, and we were all sitting down talking.
Did everybody go inside together?
Yeah.
So whenever you walk back in the house, did everybody walk in behind you and you went in the bedroom to put the gun up, or how did that happen?
I think Bert went first, and then me, and then Ryan. Is how I think that went. But we all ended up in the room at the same time.
So who's all in the room?
Me, Ryan, and Bert.
Okay. Okay. So what happened next?
After that, like I said, we were all talking. I had already taken the clip out. As soon as I sat down, I took the clip out, and I set the gun over here. We were talking a few minutes longer, and we started trying to move the dresser and whatnot.
Or move the dresser? What's the purpose?
I was trying to get the TV ready also to fix it correctly so we could watch Netflix, or I think he was about to play the game. I had mentioned Netflix, but I don't remember. But the TV is sitting sideways, so I mean, like, no one on the side could really see. So we're trying to fix the TV, but we're also getting ready to move too.
Like, Like move?
Yeah. I just bought us our own trailer and everything.
Okay.
And we were just moving it and.
So alright, so let's slow down a little bit, okay? Just calm down, take a deep breath.
Okay.
Alright? Now we're going step by step, we're trying to find out what happened, okay? Alright. So you say we moved the dresser.
Me and Bert.
You and Robert moved
Yeah.
the dresser. Okay. And where are y'all moving it to? Are y'all moving it across the room?
No,
or?
we were honestly just trying to scoot it, turn it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and the gun slid off.
Okay.
Literally, it slid off and fell.
Okay, well, slow down for a minute, okay? Where's Ryan at?
Ryan is on the bed over here, on
Alright.
the side.
What is he, like, is he sitting? Is he
He's
laying?
sitting down.
Okay.
He's sitting down.
Okay.
So go on.
And after that, we heard the gun go off, and I look over. Bert flipped out as soon as the gun went off. And as soon as I turned, I seen that Ryan had been shot. And the first thing that came to my mind was to get on the bed to check to see if he had a pulse. I told Bert, call 911 like right now. And I'm checking his neck, and that's how I got most of the blood on me. I'm checking his neck. I was like, he's got a pulse. Call 911. Like, you've got to call 911 right now. He's got a pulse. And he's on the phone with 911, and they asked if he was breathing, and Bert came over and touched him. He was like, his heart's still beating. I can't tell if he's breathing. And not too long after, y'all showed up.
Describe the dresser.
It's a tan dresser.
What's on it?
A TV and an Xbox.
Okay. So when I went in the room, that dresser was in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where's Ryan at?
He's sitting on the side right here. He's sitting at the edge of the bed.
Okay. So he's sitting at the edge of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which way is he facing?
Towards the window.
Okay.
We literally, it barely even got moved before the gun fell off. We weren't even able to move it completely
So,
at all. And I really think that it was just too cramped.
you put a mark here for
Ryan.
Ryan. Put an X, 2 X's where you and Robert are.
Bert's right here, and I'm right here.
And where's the gun at?
The gun is literally sitting right here at the edge of where the freaking, I don't know if it was on top of the Xbox or on the side of the Xbox, but it's like right there. And there's not much space up there at all if you can see the dresser.
So is Ryan sitting? Which way is he facing?
Towards the window.
Like which window? So there's 2 windows in the house in your room.
The
Right?
front window that goes outside, that looks out the front.
Like on the same side of the TV?
Yeah, same side as everything. There's a window right here. There's a window right here. He's facing that window.
Okay. So so it's kind of a tight, cramped area.
That's
isn't
why
it?
I'm saying I don't know if that's how the gun got knocked off or what. Like I should have asked Ryan to move, but I didn't think nothing of it honestly, and
All right. So when you say it got knocked off, did it hit the floor?
it hit the floor.
Okay. So all 3 of y'all are pretty much in this corner by this TV.
Yes.
Okay.
But you and Robert are between the gun and Ryan.
Yes, sir.
So how did?
There's, like I said, if you look on the bed, the magazine is over here. The clip is on the bed. There should have been nothing in that gun at all.
But there was. That's a really tight area between the wall and
It
the
is.
bed. And then if you put you and Ryan there moving a dresser, you pretty much create your own wall
To protect him
to
from getting
protect him
struck.
from getting shot.
He was sitting down still, though. Robert was still sitting down.
Which way does the safety go? When you set the gun to safe, is it a safety? You have to put the safety up or down?
I think it flips up, if I'm correct.
I don't know. It's not a.
I don't know.
I'm not
I think
testing your knowledge.
I think
It's your gun.
I think it's up.
Okay.
So tonight at all. So when's the last time you shot? You never shot that gun?
I've never shot that gun.
Okay. So the gun falls. Okay. It goes off. All right. Ryan's hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where does he go?
He slumps forward.
So he slumped forward towards the window?
And Bert instantly grabbed him. And I think Bert's the one that laid him down. And like I said, my reaction was to get on the bed to see if he had a pulse.
Okay, so did he slump and fall off the bed?
No, he didn't hit the floor.
Okay,
He
so
slumped over onto the bed. Right here. Like he slumped this way and fell. He didn't hit the ground.
So he went forward.
Yes. He went forward like this way. Like I guess diagonally. As I could best describe it.
So was his head like facing towards the ground, or was it still on the bed?
It was on the bed.
Okay. Now you have. So I'm looking at the bedroom. Okay, and the mattress is in front of me. There's two windows right here in front. All right.
One window on the
There's
front
one
and
window
two
over
on
here.
the side.
Okay, on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And y'all are moving the dresser to do what?
Turn it sideways. Or try to turn it diagonal, like crooked, like diagonal. If that makes sense.
Why?
Just
Why not just move the TV?
The TV doesn't sit diagonally. We've already tried that.
What do you mean? It's not on a stand, or?
It's on a stand, but like the wall, it hits the wall too much.
Okay. Alright, so take me back. Alright, so you go get pizza, come back. You go get the gun, you come back out. Okay. Alright. You manipulate and trying to learn how to use it. Who's showing you that? Robert?
Robert was showing me, he's been showing me that.
Okay.
Normally I do it without bullets and I've just started learning with the bullets.
Okay. Now, when y'all go back in the house, everybody else goes in the living room? Is that
No.
where all you, Ryan, and Robert?
We all go to the room.
Okay. Then y'all go in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, did you go in the bedroom prior,
No.
or all y'all went in together?
We all went in together.
Alright. As soon as you walk in, what do you do? What
I
all-
sit on the bed with the gun. And I went to go take it. I took out the clip and I set the gun on the dresser.
Okay.
Where are you sitting on the bed?
Huh?
Where are you sitting at on the bed?
Right here.
Like,
Either right here or over
so
over here. I'm not entirely sure. I normally sit near the AC. That's normally where I always sit, is near the AC.
okay, so this is that bed, and this is that window. This is the headboard, or I guess where the headboard would be, and that's that window. And of course, this is your bed a little bit further this way, and the TV and the Xbox is here in this corner. Where are you sitting at when you come in the room? Like this is the foot of the bed, and this would be the right hand side, and this would be the left hand side of the bed.
I'm sitting back here somewhere.
Back in there, so you're actually up on the bed.
Yeah, in the general area.
Okay.
Before I get up to move the dresser.
Alright.
And then I'm lost.
So, you're sitting up on the bed.
Yes.
By the window. And I'm sorry for you kind of keep going over this, alright? But like I said, this is some serious
Okay.
stuff, and we gotta get some answers, okay?
I understand.
So you're sitting up on the bed, alright? And you get up off the bed to move the dresser with Robert,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And Ryan stays on the bed. Okay. Now, so the gun falls off. Okay. And do you see where Ryan's hit at?
In the head.
What part of it hit?
I don't know exactly. I just know it was on the side.
Okay.
I can't even tell you if it was a through and through or not. I honestly, like I said, I was hysterical when it happened. I was really just trying to make sure he was still alive.
Is it possible Ryan was sitting? So was Ryan sitting closer to the door or closer to the TV?
I want to say it was closer to the door.
Okay. So he went near the TV?
No, I don't believe so. He might have been more closer. I may be off a little bit. I don't know for sure.
You need water today? Need water? You good?
Okay.
What? So I'm gonna let you take a break from some questions for a second. I'm gonna explain to you what's gonna happen the next few days, okay?
Okay.
We're obviously gonna collect your gun, and we're gonna send your gun to the DPS firearm lab. And do you know what they do at the DPS firearm lab? You have any idea?
I'm pretty sure check to see if there's any.
They're gonna try to recreate what happened tonight, what you're saying happened tonight.
Okay.
They're gonna check the gun for malfunctions, see if they can replicate the gun discharging in the manner that you're saying that it did. Obviously test the ammo and all that together. So
the only thing I could think that happened was who was still one in the chamber.
Well, there's obviously still one in the chamber, but what I mean by that is they're gonna try to replicate the gun falling off a dresser and discharging. I know you're obviously not very familiar with weapons or guns, but there are certain things that have to happen for that gun to go off.
So basically, you're going to try to manipulate by dropping the gun. But something else is we're going to start looking at some angles, all right, and trajectories on some stuff, okay? And like I said, the only thing we're trying to find out are the facts, okay? And I hope you do realize that that's all we're after, are the facts. Okay, and so a lot of this stuff has to add up scientifically also, okay? And right now we're having some concerns about some stuff, okay? So that's why we're kind of asking the kind of same questions of positions people are sitting and things like that. And so, like I said, it's just best to try to remember as best as you can, okay? Try to help us out to get these questions answered. Because an accident happened, we need to know, and we need to try to make that accident line up with what we're seeing, okay?
Okay.
Alright? You can give us a few minutes and need some more water? Alright, you sit here.
No, you sit right there.
As we head to our first commercial break, it doesn't quite appear that Mary was expecting this much pushback to the whole gun fell off the dresser and killed my friend defense. When we get back, we'll see how she handles further scrutiny by the detectives.
I'm sorry. Could call the guys out the house for a second.
Alright. Was that the first time ever that Robert ever, I guess, kind of showed you how to manipulate that weapon?
Mm-hmm.
How often do y'all do that?
Every few days. He was supposed to be taking me to the shooting range, so.
Okay.
You said every few days?
We normally do it outside.
You normally do it outside?
I've only done it once instead.
When was that?
2 weeks ago.
Did y'all do it inside tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Well, Mary, like the ranger was saying, all we're here to do is collect the facts and try to piece everything together, okay? Because we obviously weren't there, we weren't in that room. And what we have to rely on is talking to you and talking to Robert and getting everybody's statements, okay? And we brought everybody up here to talk to everybody and find out what took place tonight. But the thing about, and I don't want to offend you, but the thing about when we interview people, humans can lie to us, and they can tell the truth. So we rely heavily on what you have to say, but we also equally weigh a lot on the evidence and what the crime scene is telling us, or the scene is telling us.
Yes, sir.
And based on what we saw out there when we were there earlier, and what the crime scene technicians, the CSI guys, are telling us, is that what they're seeing isn't matching up quite exactly how we're being told the story, not only in this room, but in other rooms in this building. So it's really important after we leave separate tonight, we let you go home and we go home, that, as I told you before, we're going to put all this together. The scientific stuff, the scene stuff, all the statements, and we're going to see what all lines up. And already something's not seeming right. And I'm going to give you an example, okay? It's just, it's hard for us to visualize, I guess you could say, that in this small corner in your room between the bed and the dresser and the wall, which there's not a whole lot of room at all here, right? Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
How far do you think that is from the wall to the edge of the bed?
I don't even know.
Or you give a distance?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's from you to that wall, or do you think it's closer?
A little bit closer. Maybe.
How much closer? Half the distance?
Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple squares.
A couple squares? And then not only, so there's,
Like I said, I don't.
well, listen to me. Let me explain what we're thinking. So you got the bed and the wall, but then you've got some other stuff here. You've got like a shoe rack, and what is this here? This clear container, like thing. You've got that there, which closes the distance between the bed and the wall, and then you've got the dresser here. And what you're telling us is that you and Robert are squeezed in here, which is pretty tight, and then Ryan is here. So the way you're explaining it, you're basically creating a human wall, I guess you could say, between Ryan and the dresser. Would you agree with that? I mean, like you're all pretty close in there, correct? Trying to move this dresser?
Yeah, and the last part was over here. I can't remember exactly. I don't know if Bert was still sitting down or not.
Well, the blood evidence tells us where he was sitting at.
Bert?
No,
the blood evidence tells us where Ryan was sitting
Yeah,
at.
say Bert.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. And there's some other little things like I'm having a hard time understanding why. Number one, why are we moving the dresser? Number one, and I'm gonna lay all this out for you so that maybe you can come back and I guess in rebuttal, I guess is the legal term, and it helped me understand why. Like why you explain why you're moving the dresser, but it's not. That doesn't make sense to me. Why we're moving the dresser? It doesn't make sense that you would normally keep your pistol here in the top drawer, unloaded in the magazine.
Where I put it at night.
Ma'am?
Somewhere where I put it at night.
Is this where it was when you came back with the pizza?
Yes.
Okay, so typically you would keep the gun in the top drawer and the magazine or the clip in the second drawer, but tonight you lay the magazine on the bed and lay the gun on the dresser.
Like I said, before I go to bed at night, I normally put it in the dresser. Before I go to bed at night, I put it in the dresser.
Okay. Do you normally lay the magazine on the bed though, and then the gun on the dresser?
Sometimes I just leave the gun on safety somewhere else, but today I took the magazine out because it had bullets in it.
Right. There's things that are not, you're doing things that are abnormal for your normal routine, your habit of doing things. Like you just said, I normally do this. I normally put the gun here at night. I normally do this with the magazine. But tonight you're doing abnormal things. And then on top of that, you're trying to move a dresser.
I didn't put the gun up yet because I was supposed to go back outside and play with it some more, but.
And keep in mind, you got a 6-year-old running around here somewhere.
She was in the house. She was over here in this room.
Right. But if we left the gun laying around like you would have and went outside, that's just something.
I wouldn't have left the gun.
So is it possible that you all were playing with the gun in this room and not out in the front yard tonight?
Is it possible that Ryan was sitting in front of the TV?
It is possible.
Okay. So that would put Ryan in front of the TV.
Like I said,
Brother.
Bert
All right,
sit up on the side. I'm sorry.
Okay. So they'll put Ryan. So we have evidence. Okay. Like I said, we look at blood. All right. Blood kind of guides us in directions. Okay. And so we know the spot in the area where he was sitting when he was shot. Okay. Which is an area that is right there by the TV. Okay. Which trying to fit you and Robert in that area to move that dresser at the time would have been physically difficult. I mean, it's tight, okay? And now hear me out. Look at me real quick, okay? I'm not here accusing you of anything, okay? I am just here telling you what the scene is telling us, okay? And now, we're trying to get an understanding from your point of view, okay? I understand you got a lot of stress on you right now, alright? But the thing is, if something happened in that room, covering up what happened or misspeaking on different things makes it worse. Okay? So what we're trying to do is get the facts, okay? Accidents happen all the time, okay? People are playing with guns all the time, they accidentally go off, okay? But if that's what's happening, that's what we need to know, okay? But what the physical evidence is telling us, okay, is where Ryan was sitting at when he was struck, okay? And then he fell back on the bed, okay? And that spot is, I mean, it's inches. From the bed to that little dresser to that little TV is mere inches. And so all three of y'all fit in that one spot to move a little dresser. It just, honestly, it just seems inconceivable at this point, okay? Now, we just want to know just the facts. That's it.
Like I said, Bert could have been up here. Like, the bed is a king size bed. I don't know if Bert moved up here. I don't remember. I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. I don't remember. Bert could have been on the side of the dresser right here. It's possible Ryan was sitting closer, and my distance is off. I know for a fact that I was over here, though.
You're on the bed?
No, I got off the bed to move the dresser. I'm over on the side of the dresser, against the wall. I don't want to say that Bert was over here, and I'd be lying. Like I said, Ryan could have been sitting closer to the TV, and my distance could be off.
Well, like the ranger was saying, the blood evidence tells us pretty much exactly where he was sitting at. So we're not going to hold you to an inch this way or a foot that way. We understand it's been a stressful night, okay? But guns, you know what the odds are of a gun falling off a dresser with the safety on and then discharging them?
He said the safety should have been on. I can't be for sure.
Even with the safety off.
That's a manufacturer's flaw.
Yeah, even with the safety off, that gun is, I mean, don't quote me, but you could probably get struck by light and the odds would probably be, that just doesn't happen very often. Like, I've been doing it 29 years. I've never been to a scene where a gun has done that. So, and I'm not saying you're lying. I just think that, like the ranger's saying, something's not sitting right, and this would be the time to tell us about it if something accidentally happened, we're playing around. Because come next week, come later this week, when all this is all put together and it's a different story, it's going to be a different conversation with y'all.
Yes.
And that boy, as you know, has a mama that's down there right now mourning over her son, and she deserves to know exactly what happened in that room tonight. She's got to relive the rest of her life not knowing, unless somebody tells us exactly what happened.
Ask you this real quick: is Robert going to tell us the same exact story as you? If he does tell us something different, is it you telling the truth or would it be him?
Okay.
If he tells us something different, okay, would it be him telling us the truth or would it be you?
Yeah.
Other than you and Robert, did anybody else handle that gun that night? Just you two? Did either one of you fire that gun that night?
My mouth is so dry.
I'm gonna go see Charles real quick. He's talking to Robert.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You want to bring back some more water, or you still got to have the cup? I'll be back here in about 5 minutes, okay?
Does Ryan live at the house?
He's been staying on and off.
On and off.
Yeah, but he's normally not there.
Does he have a girlfriend?
If I know.
He's not married, no children?
I don't know. I know he's caused this one girl's daughter from a past relationship.
Okay. I know you've been through a lot tonight. I know you've seen a lot tonight that you didn't want to see. Okay? But I also know that from working scenes and interviewing people, I know there's more to the story, okay? Can we agree on that? So anytime we work these scenes, like I said, there's physical evidence. There's droplets of blood. There's patterns of blood. Different things like that tell us about the scene. Okay. Like I said, normally we can place people back in a position where they're at in the room. Okay. There's blood spatter. It goes on walls and different things like that, and I can take that and get a direction. Okay? And so, I'll tell you that, okay, because I'm trying to get an understanding of, I don't see how a gun can hit the ground, and if it does go off, it's going to come at an angle to where he's sitting at, that's back up. Okay? Now also, the doctors can tell us the direction that it entered his head. It can tell us the direction it traveled and at the angle it went in. So if this gun hit the floor, we're going to have a matching angle, okay, be it 45 degrees or whatever, that they're going to give us a direction. This projectile entered his head at this angle, okay? And so we're going back and try to play that angle out, to see if we can match it up to what you're telling us. Alright? And the only thing I'm asking you to, I'm begging you to do, is just to think back. Okay? I need you to think back. All the way. Alright?
It's cold in here.
I wish I could. I don't think there's no temperature control in here at all.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did Ryan make it at all?
I don't know yet, but I can find out for you. Okay? Anything you leaving out? Is there anything you're concerned about that we're going to find out later? Was everybody getting along tonight?
Yes, we always do.
You have any kids?
2.
Where are they at?
My daughter's with her dad and my son's with his aunt. I was supposed to be getting my daughter tomorrow.
Okay. Something I want you to think about, okay? One, I want you to think about your kids. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not accusing you of anything, but I don't want you to put yourself in a position, okay, that will put you in a bad position where you're not telling us the complete truth, okay? Or it comes to a point where we find out something that you hadn't told us, okay? So I want you to think about your children, okay?
Okay.
I have kids myself, all right? Good, bad, you know. There's a thing, like I said, we got to be honest with ourselves and we be honest for our kids. Okay? But like I said, the information you're giving us right now is just not.
Can I finish?
I can't. I get some. Right? But it's just not jiving right now, okay? So think about that for a minute. Okay? I want you to think back. Okay? And then we'll be back in just a minute, okay?
Okay. A jacket or something.
I'll find out.
Now, the detectives are down the hall interrogating her boyfriend, Robert. They've already warned her about the fact that there will be a comparison between her story and his. When we get back from our last commercial break, let's see what happens when they confront her about these details. Will it be enough to push her into telling the truth about what happened to Ryan?
Get your blanket. Tell me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're just about done. I'll let you go get some rest. What time did DJ leave the house today?
Always be where I stop by. I'm sorry, I did forget that. He left around 6 hours to get here.
Okay. Now, DJ is a brother to who?
Both of them.
So all three, DJ, Ryan, and Robert, are all brothers. Are they half brothers? Or by blood? I mean,
I want to say they're biological.
by mom or dad?
My mom.
Okay, so all three of them are brothers. So, okay, so Robert basically witnessed his brother getting shot.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, you remember a while ago, before we walked out, I had asked you, talking to you and talking to Robert, okay, if y'all's stories were different, who would be telling the truth? Okay, we've come upon that difference, okay, and it's a big difference, okay, and that difference is, so you have two dressers in your house, in your room, right?
Yes, sir.
One by the TV and one by the door,
Yes, sir.
right? So what if I was to tell you that Robert told the detective right now that your pistol was on the dresser by the door?
And that you're not moving the dresser or the TV.
So this is that part I need you to start thinking about your children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because this might be one of those opportunities of a lifetime. You pick the door on the left and the door on the right. One's the truth, one's a lie. Okay? And it might have implications. Alright, so I need you to be honest.
Okay.
About everything.
Yes, sir.
Because I think right now, Robert is being pretty honest
He is.
about everything. So there's some other information that he's telling the detective also right now. And I just want to see if you're going to tell the same truth as he's telling. beginning?
The dresser, my gun was on the big dresser. And we were moving that dresser. Yes, I'm not sure.
Well, he said y'all weren't moving the dresser.
He's not moving the dresser. There's nothing to remember if you tell the truth. Just tell it.
We were all sitting on the bed. I had taken the magazine out my gun, the clip out my gun. And sat on the bed. Playing with my gun. I shouldn't have been.
What happened?
I'm guessing there was a hole in the chamber. And the gun went off.
Okay. And where were you sitting on the bed?
Everywhere I'm sitting up once.
So you're sitting in the middle of the room? In the middle of the bed?
In the middle or a little bit further back.
Okay. And Ryan was sitting where?
Exactly where I said it was.
Closer to the TV?
He may have been a little bit further over, but where it was sitting right here. He did fall forward.
Mm-hmm. And when you fell forward, there's blood droplets on the ground where you fell forward. What happened next?
Bert flipped out. And like I said, everything was truthful after that. He had checked to see if he was still alive, and I started panicking. I didn't mean for it to happen. This family's gonna kill me.
How did the gun go off?
I don't know. The safety should have been on.
But what I'm saying is, did you pull the trigger thinking that it was empty?
I don't remember. But I wasn't pointing it at nobody. I don't know. I was pointing it upwards. Diagonally, technically. I wasn't pointing it at nobody. I don't know.
Can you demonstrate how you were pointing it?
I was
Which hand did you have it in?
right hand. I was pointing it like this.
So
But I was this way.
if your back is to the window, and I'm you.
I was pointing it this way, but like I said, I don't know. What I think happened is when I went, if I did pull the trigger, I can't honestly remember if I did. I mean, I've done it a couple times before, but like I said, the safety is always on, and the was always empty. I don't know if he leaned back when I did it, and if it did go off, or why it did go off. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is what he told y'all. I'm pretty sure he told everybody what he thought would be best to hear, because he was trying to cover up for me, and I didn't want that no more. I can't. I got too much mental health issues to try to cover up what I did. Like, I blame myself so bad.
Breathe. Okay. Take deep breath.
I told him just to tell me all the truth. I didn't care if I went to jail or not. I know it was an accident, so...
Like I told you before, accidents happen.
But they're not going to see it that way, and I really think that's why he was covering it up. I think he was trying to protect me more from his family, you know.
At what point did y'all discuss the dresser story?
We didn't.
So how did you know about the dresser and how did he?
We were standing next to each other when he told the cops that.
And that's what you overheard?
We were standing right next to each other.
And so
That's what I kind of went with. Because at first, when he was on the phone with them, when you can hear it, if you listen to the recording, he said he was moving the gun. And then when we were outside, he said that we were moving the dresser, so I just kind of went with this. I didn't know what to say.
okay. So this is kind of play it back, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Take a deep breath.
Breathe in through your nose.
Yeah.
Take deep breaths in your
Take a
nose.
drink of water. Alright, so you and Ryan go around 6 o'clock. Go get pizza.
Yeah, because we went to go to the pawn shop first, so I got money.
You got money from the pawn shop? Did you pawn something?
Yeah, I pawned 2 things.
What'd you pawn?
My computer and my Fitbit watch.
How much did you get from that?
$115.
Okay, so you pawned those. Then y'all went to go get food.
No, we went to the house first.
So you pawned that, went to the house.
Yes, and then I asked Bert if he wanted something to eat. And he said, yeah, I could go get pizza, but also to get gas. I was like, okay. So I gave him $10 and I went to go get gas. And I went to go get food. DJ was with us and we went to go get food and gas.
Okay.
And then when we left there, we went to drop DJ off at the house, at the apartments. When we left there, we went to the 24-hour store off of 21st Street, the Texaco, I think is what it's called. I got cigarettes and cigars, and I went home after that. We went home after that.
Man, I'm telling you, they need to start teaching economics again in high school. Let me get this straight. They spent money on a gun a couple weeks ago. Then they pawned the laptop and Fitbit for $115. Went and bought pizza, cigarettes, and cigars. No groceries. And she's a mother. It sounds like to me if this shooting didn't happen, she would have been pawning the gun next week just to eat.
And I was outside for a little bit. We both went home. Audrey got a piece of pizza. I got a piece of pizza. I only had a couple bites. We went home, went outside for a little bit. Bert started his bike a little bit, and then put the bike on charge, the battery on charge. And we all went inside. And I was messing with the gun. I took the magazine out.
Alright, slow down real quick, okay? So, who's all in? You go in your bedroom. Alright. Ryan and Robert. Is anybody else in the bedroom with you? Okay. So you go in the bedroom, you walk in the bedroom door, and then what?
He stood on the bed, and we were just talking and joking around and whatnot.
And where'd you get the gun from?
I think it was already on the bed. I can't remember. I started playing with it. Like he was on, the chamber was empty. I re-racked it, emptied it, took the clip out. I don't know if I thought I cleansed the chamber. I can't. The safety should have been on.
But it's safe to say that you unintentionally pulled the trigger?
Unintentionally. I didn't mean to do it. I'm such a horrible person.
Committing an unintentional act doesn't make you a horrible person.
That is so you don't really feel guilty. I feel I just did that to him. I didn't mean to.
Makes you a good person to tell the truth.
I can't. I have PTSD and anxiety and bipolar. I can't keep something like that. I was sitting in the cop car losing my mind and just knowing my life. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind for a good minute over this. I couldn't help but just think about it over and over again in the cop car. That's why I was flipping out of the cop car. I couldn't sit still. I can't. I said I was gonna hate.
Need more water or anything?
Is he always gonna survive?
We'll find out for you, okay?
How did he just die?
Let's go check out Charles. Okay, I'll go with you. You get some minutes right back.
Birds gonna kill me, but I don't care.
Now I need you guys to rewind it and figure out what she just said a couple seconds ago. I'm not going to play it again. Just rewind it, figure it out, put in the comment section what the heck that was. It sounded like birds can kill me, but I don't care or something like that. I don't know. Well, anyway, they leave the room. They give her like 20 minutes. She falls asleep. All this time, Ryan is on life support. They come in and break the news.
Okay. Alright, man. Alright, you talk to your boyfriend? Alright, Robert. And he told the truth, okay? We also did find out that Ryan did pass. Your boyfriend, Robert, does not hold any ill feeling towards you whatsoever. Okay?
I don't care.
The biggest thing he tried to do is protect you.
I know.
Okay?
I didn't want him to do that. I appreciate it, but I didn't want it.
Okay. But, like I said, we did find that out, and our deal will let you know, okay? We've also talked to the district attorney's office, okay? And you are going to be charged tonight, okay? Alright? You're going to be charged with manslaughter. Okay?
Mary Russell would be sentenced to just a 5-year prison term for the charge of manslaughter. I can't say that I have a problem with the punishment, considering that I believe the shooting death of Ryan Hodges was almost certainly an accident. With that said, devising a story to cover up that accident, yeah, that's some crazy work. Imagine getting away with that lie and having to look at yourself in the mirror every single morning. That sounds like a pretty messed up way to live. But Mary should be out of prison in 2026, and hopefully she will leave the firearms to the police and put her focus on raising her child. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that like button and share it on your way out. And now I'm out, but I'll be back soon, right here on They Called Me. Till next time.